Hello all of you. Welcome to the first revision lecture for costing. Today we are preparing for our first booster exam, that is on cost sheet. Cost sheet is actually 6th chapter, and the first chapter, that is on concepts of costing theory. Okay. Question number 1 has got minimum 5 marks to maximum 10 marks weightage. Okay. What is your chapter number 1? Types of costing, what are the cost centers, responsibility centers, advantages, limitations, linking of the costing and information technology, and so on. So these are the questions which are repeatedly asked in question number 7. There's a separate video here if you scroll up and down, the paper pattern of costing. There I have said that in question number 7 theory question, 2 questions are there from chapter 1 for 10 marks. One is there from material chapter and one is there from other types of the costing, joint product or byproduct or budgeting and so on. This is how you get theory questions in question number 7. Now some of you may be thinking that theory chhod bhi diye, to question number 7 we will leave in choice. You cannot. See, it is actually 4 to 5 marks each question and very scoring, very scoring. So you cannot just leave it, right? So in first chapter, we will be discussing all theory questions, which is relevant for question number 7, which is for 20 marks, 5 into 4 marks, right? And then second chapter, we will cover in this 1 hour exam is, and I will give you choice in the chapter wise exam, what we are going to take. I hope you all have the timetable, and above this video also in our booster program also timetable is given. Strictly we will stick to that timetable and prepare accordingly. You are having 2 days time to prepare for topic. Any doubt is there, any material, any book, just click the photo and send me. I will clear it by a voice note, right? And second thing I want to say is, while preparing, just mark it, what is a major good problem which you can revise 1 day before exam. So that marking should be done now only, right? So with this, the reason I always teach in my class also cost sheet first is, cost sheet is the base. You know, when I want to ascertain what is the cost of teaching per student in concept classes, my secret, or what is the cost of an airlines, or what is the cost of manufacturing this mobile phone. So whatever examples we take like this, a product or service, we are preparing costing, cost sheet, but in a different way. But the ultimate aim is to derive the cost, for which we should know cost sheet as the base ingredient. Is this clear to all of you? Once you know cost sheet as your base properly, then learning material, labor and overhead, 3 chapters, which are like in-depth, how your cost sheet is going to be affected by your material cost, by labor and overhead. And once that is over, then you have types of costing. Oil industries, they will be in the process costing. School bus, transportation, they will be in the service costing. So different construction business contract costing. So different types of costings we will learn, and then some chapters called as standard and marginal, right? So here we begin with the revision lecture for cost sheet. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I got your question. This video you can watch. I have generally these revision videos are for 1 hour and view time is 3 hours. So you're watching it right now to prepare for your booster exam with me. You can watch it again later, and 1 day before exam also you can watch it. 3 times you can watch this GIST revision lecture. Now, you know, in regular classes, what notes we give and the quality good problems we are solving, that I will be discussing. And every time for every chapter, I give booster notes. I dictate it, I write it, and students write it in every batch. So these booster notes I'm going to discuss with you. If you want, you can take a screenshot and hold the video and write it, so that it will create a great impact. See, in your exam preparation, when someone says they are panicking, they are not confident, it is because of the lack of preparation. अगर preparation अच्छा है तो आप कभी panic नहीं होंगे, relaxed होके 3 hours में you will write your exam. So here we begin now first with the cost sheet. Okay, right. This is the first chapter. Of course, this combination exam I'm going to give the first chapter also. But right now I want to take up chapter number 6, that is cost sheet. Every exam generally, there is no paper pattern in CA and all exams, but a general paper I'm saying cost sheet is asked for minimum 10 marks along with labor in question number 2. This is just my observations. When we observe the paper in a trend, no, we can make this out. So that is the way this is asked. One second. I thought I have kept it ready. Activity-based costing. This is also asked now too much. Here we begin. So what is a cost sheet? It is a statement which shows the breakup and build-up of the cost, right? It's a statement, but it has to be prepared in a proper format. So in your syllabus, you have 2 types of cost sheet. You have 2 types of cost sheet. Okay, one is cost sheet with inventory and another is simple cost sheet where you just go on adding the cost but there is no inventory. But as we start with the cost sheet, we should know that whenever we start preparing the cost sheet, there are some terms used. So in the coming 10 minutes, let us be very comfortable with the terms. Once we complete that, sometimes they ask cost sheet without your stock or inventory. And if it is a manufacturing company or trading company, they'll have stock. For example, in teaching industry, we don't have stock. So our cost sheet is like all the expenses at the profit and you get the revenue. There is no opening stock, closing stock, right? So, okay, book stock is there, no books and all not to use, right? Chalo. So cost sheet starts with direct material. These are revision lectures. So I hope first chapter is like we speak Telugu, Gujarati and Marathi. There's a language of costing. If I say prime cost, immediately, ma'am, the core cost. So that's why prime cost is the main cost which is used and which has prime cost is having the impact in the final output. So it includes direct material, direct labor, direct expense. Direct material, direct labor, direct expense, we get prime cost. When you are taking direct material, actually you take direct material consumed, how much is used. So suppose I had 5 bags of raw material, purchases is 15. I have now 20. Out of that, 3 are still there in stock. So how much material is consumed? 17. So 17 will come as your direct material cost. Any doubt is there, you can message me, ma'am, in this video at 20th minute. This is the doubt, no problem. Anytime. So what is this we do in accounts also, no? Opening stock of material plus purchase minus closing will give you material consumed. Then labor and expense. You know, labor and expense is also called as conversion cost. You all should write. Suppose my raw material is peanuts. I crush it and crude oil bana ke, refine karke, chemical dal ke, we get transparent good oil. That is called as refined oil. So in my raw material, if I add labor and other expenses, am I getting my finished product? So in raw material, if you add conversion cost, you get your total cost of the finished goods. And conversion cost is nothing but labor and overhead. Labor and other expenses. Are you all clear with this? Raw material plus conversion cost is finished goods. So conversion cost is nothing but the cost of converting the raw material into finished goods. That's nothing but labor and overhead. If you want, you can note it as a booster note. Any doubt in the prime cost, you can ask me. Next now. When you purchase the material, in the material purchased, you will add on road all the expenses, no? Freight and insurance and all. This is generally the question asked in the material chapter also. Cost of the material, freight inward, insurance, trade discount and rebates are not a part. Duties and taxes. GST you will add to the purchases of material if you are not getting input tax credit. I have purchased 10 rupees material, 2 rupees is GST, then 12 rupees it is coming. Okay, so GST, 2 rupees I am paying and 12. I will take my purchase cost 12 rupees if I am not taking credit of the GST. Now, what is this taking the credit? Input GST, what I pay in purchases, output GST if I'm doing set off, and if I'm filing my monthly return, then fine. Otherwise, add on GST, custom duty, whatever it is to the purchases. Labor cost means not only just wages and salaries what you pay. In income tax also we do. Other than basic wages and salaries, we pay perks, allowances, so many things. Bonus, overtime, employer's contribution. See, your wages may be 100, but as an employer, I am putting 12 rupees in your PF account. So my labor expense is 112. This we study in the labor chapter. Then direct expenses. All the cost of utilities, power, fuel, hire charges, machinery say related, and all the expenses which are incurred directly, they are called direct expenses. Okay? Right. So, what do you mean by prime cost? Direct material, direct labor, direct expenses. In direct material consumed, you have opening, purchase minus closing, and labor and direct expenses. Okay? Cost of the production. In a conventional cost sheet, this item of cost can be seen, and it is the total cost of the prime cost and factory cost. Keep little patience. I'm explaining in detail. When I show you the cost sheet, it will be easier for all of you. So now once we have got prime cost, I hope prime cost is clear. Direct material, direct labor, direct expenses is prime cost. Once you get prime cost, add factory related indirect expense. Direct expense have already gone here, which are directly related. Other expenses, indirect labor, indirect expense, some indirect material. Like direct material is peanuts, which I crush and I get crude oil. And indirect material is those chemicals which I put in the crude oil to make it transparent, shiny, and good oil. Followed? So factory overhead will have indirect material and all, and that will give you works cost, or it is also called as factory cost. Now in factory, if some item is in between, like peanuts are crushed, but you are having 1000 kgs of pulp, peanuts pulp. Abhi the crude oil you have not got, refined hoke pack nahi hua, and neither it is peanuts. So what is this called now? Work in progress. So if there is any opening work in progress already from last month, and this time this is the works progress, minus the closing work in progress, you get factory cost or works cost. This is also factory cost, this is also factory cost. The difference here is opening work in progress and closing work in progress. Work in progress is item that is in between in the factory. More detail we will do it in the process costing. After the works cost, we add quality control cost, R&D, administrative related expense, accounting department and other departments are there. So they all are added to get the cost of production. Only just primary packing, no secondary packing and distribution will come in sales related expense. Okay, some detail about what is factory related expense, factory overhead, stores, consumables, spare parts, some nuts, bolts which are required, depreciation, rent of the factory, repairs, indirect labor, designing costs, some royalty paid, plant and machinery, and so on, right? And work in progress, we all know it is the cost of some product which is in between. So that also we will consider R&D, administrative cost. This is simple meaning, we all know it. Once you in factory overhead, if you add administrative cost, you get cost of producing 10,000 units. Now, if 9,500 units are sold, 500 unit will be the closing stock. They'll be valued at same rate. Whatever is the cost of production of 10,000 units, 9,500 units are sold. Only 500 units are left. Right? See, cost of the production of 10,000 units we have produced. Already we have produced and we have 200 units. And still we have 100 units. Then what is the cost of the goods sold? 10,100. Yes, all the stock may be there in the exam, not necessary. They may not have work in progress. They may, if they are trading, they're just having opening stock of finished goods. Already opening 200, 10,000 more units and 100 are still in stock. So 10,100 are cost of the goods sold. If you just, in opening, if you add 10,200, these are also called as cost of the goods available for sale. How many goods are available for sale? 10,200. But out of that, 100 is in stock. So 10,100 units are sold already. Cost of the goods sold. Cost of sales. Once you finish that, in the cost of the goods sold, see, these administrative expense which you add above, no, they are directly related to production. So he add karna. Otherwise, after you get the cost of the production, add administrative expenses, selling, distribution expense, packing expense, delivery van, salesman salary, commission, driver's salary, depreciation और सब आ जाएगा इसमें, and you will get cost of the sales. See, administrative expenses general, not related to production. Depreciation, maintenance, administrative staff. Yeah, accounts department, rent and insurance of the office building, not the factory. Factory ka rent will go in factory overhead. Office ka rent will go here. And if you have some delivery van on rental, it will go there. Same for depreciation. Factory related machineries depreciation, factory overhead. Administrative office building, computers and all depreciation, administrative overhead. Delivery vans depreciation and all, then selling overhead. So this is how you do the overheads, packing cost and other cost. Shall we start with the format of cost sheet? Dear students, 10 marks format, they have given 2 column in exam, you should do it 3 column. Particulars, working and main amount. You know why? ये क्यों जरूरी है, क्यों करना है हमको? ये dots कहाँ से आ गए? ठीक है, चलो कोई बात नहीं. Why you need to do this working? In accounts exam, the main investment account, the main accounts look very small and you do working behind. In cost sheet, try to do the working there itself. So particulars, working and amount. This is it. Okay? Right. So let us do it now. First is direct material. Direct labor, direct expense. Nothing but prime cost. After the prime cost, we have add factory related expense. वर्क्स ओवरहेड, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग ओवरहेड, प्रोडक्शन ओवरहेड, जो भी बोलो, we get factory cost. After factory cost, we add to it administrative expenses and we get cost of the production. In that, add selling and overhead and we get cost of sales, add profit and we get the sales. ठीक है? Prime cost. Once again, I want to repeat, this is a very small cost sheet, maybe sometimes asked for 5 marks without any inventory. Achha, total how many types of inventories are there? Raw material related inventory, which will come here. Work in progress, which will come after the factory overhead. Work in progress में factory related expense तो लग ही चुके हैं, so it will come here. And finished goods inventory will come after the administrative overhead. Cost of producing. So 10,000 units if you have produced, this is the cost. 100 units remaining also, this is the cost. All clear to all of you? Right. So material, labor, expenses, this is basic. Prime cost. Add factory expense, factory cost. Add administrative expense, cost of the production. Add selling and distribution expense, cost of the goods sales available for sale. Add profit, you get the final sales figure. Yes, what are the items which are not included in the cost sheet? They can ask you. Cost sheet helps you, and this is the total cost. If they give you a number of items, then total cost is 1 lakh, number of item is 10,000. So 10 per unit is the cost of the production. So sometimes you can make cost sheet per unit also. Total amount तो आप लिखेंगे, you can make small per unit also if the data is available. Or sometimes percentage also. Like factory overhead is 50% of prime cost. Labor is itna material, they can give some percentages also. So that is also one way they can ask you. But in cost sheet, we never take irrelevant items, like items that are not included in the cost sheet. Non-operating income like rent and all, loss or profit of capital nature, item not representing the cost but dependent on, like sometimes they say, oh, kabhi stock jal gaya to, loss by fire hua to. Can we provide such notional losses? Or yeah, no. Why we are not taking other? See, we are deciding what is the cost of my product or my service. In that, I can't take non-operating income. Whether you produce or not, if you are getting some rental income, dividend income, you will anyway get, no? Are you getting? You do this production or not, if you're getting rental income or FD interest in the bank, you will get it anyhow. You need not take that efforts, right? So this is how we are doing the this cost sheet. Yeah, non-operating income, losses and profits. You will not take irrelevant items, like abnormal things and notional things you will not take. Transfer to reserve is not an expense. It's your own money. You are saying, okay, I've earned 50 profit, 20 I'm putting to this investment reserve. Dividend, you're taking it in another pocket. So these are not expense only. Payment of dividend is not expense. It's the appropriation of profit. You give dividend to the owners of the company, shareholders. Writing of the goodwill and all. Interest, discount, received, paid, no. These are basically accounting related terms what you don't take. What is the benefit of cost sheet? Proper presentation. Without looking there, you can say, kya fayda hoga cost sheet banane ka? Best is it will help you to ascertain your price. You know, there are people who are working around us. Like there is a Xerox shop next to our office. And if we say, bhaiya, jada printout chahiye, they'll say, okay, instead of 50 paisa, I'll take 40 paisa. If you say, but I want more than 1,000 print, can you make it in 30 paisa? He'll say, nahi par padta. Have you heard this word? Nahi parvadta. I cannot give. When they say like this, no, we cannot give, then that means that they know their own costing. What is my paper cost? What is my ink cost? What is the routine repairing cost of the Xerox machine? Power का कितना consumption होता है per paper print में, color print. So I'm just giving you a very layman's example. ठीक है? So what I want to say is cost sheet will give you cost information, selling price, profitability. It will help you. Okay, 10,000 units you want to manufacture. This is your budget. Next year, 12,000. It will help you to prepare budget. And you can compare your cost sheet with last week or last month or last year. Oh, this last 15 days cost sheet is this. Before that, why this expense has increased, why this has reduced, you can compare. So intra-firm and inter-firm comparison will become easy. Preparing cost estimate for submitting tenders, quotations, all. Have you heard about these tenders, quotations? जब government के project होते हैं, flyover बनाना है, bridge बनाना है, railway track and some work, they take tenders and quotation. So whoever quotes the least price, they will get. So very methodically and clearly they prepare the cost sheet. Achha, while you prepare cost sheet, you know product wise and location wise analysis. Which one is good product? Which one is good location? You will get to know on that. Disclosure of operational efficiency for the cost control. See, when you prepare the cost sheet, you are able to decide properly how to control the cost and all. Okay. Is there any doubt in the cost sheet without? I told you per unit भी कभी-कभी percentage भी रहता है. Selling overhead is 5% of sales. Let us assume sale is 100. Admin is 20 and so on. And you know, please, one very important assumption is it's not that cost sheet is prepared like from the beginning, prime cost, factory overhead or SN. No. Sometimes they may give you the profit, they may give you the sales, and factory overhead is missing figure. So ऊपर से go on putting the figures, नीचे से go on fitting, and you will come here. I hope you are getting. Prime cost, add factory overhead, factory cost, add administrative overhead, cost of production, add selling expenses, cost of sales, profit and sales. This is the cost sheet without inventory. Now in this we can add three types of inventories. First is YEI. Every time I will scroll up and down and I'll show you the comparison. Like here we have direct material. So here we have opening stock of the raw material plus purchases minus closing stock. This is raw material consumed. If you have opening stock of raw material and closing and purchases, add all expenses. GST only if you take input tax credit, you will get material consumed. Add labor and expense, you will get prime cost. In that add factory overhead. Now add opening work in progress. So opening work in progress will be valued till here. जो work बीच में है, in that material is incurred, labor is incurred and factory overhead is also incurred. So this is opening stock of work in progress, closing stock. Then we have factory cost or works cost. Add administrative overhead. Yes, office related general expense, and we get cost of the production. So whatever unit is produced and ready, it's just ready in the factory, oil packet say. In that you have added direct expenses, factory related expense and administrative related expense also. Once you get cost of the production, finished goods are always valued at cost of the production. You get how many units you have produced? 10,000. What is opening stock of finished goods? 200. What is the cost of the goods available for sale? 10,200. Yeah, this is also a new term. Sometimes in exam they give you this cost of the goods which are available for sale, 10,200. But now we have only 100. That means, can I say 10,100 units are already sold? Huh? Clear to all of you, right? And when the cost of goods are sold, add selling overhead, cost of sales, profit and sales. So, ma'am, kya farak hai? So, what is the difference? Opening and closing stock of inventory will come here. Factory overhead ke immediately baad opening and closing work in progress, and finished goods will come at the level of cost of production. Cost of production, add opening stock minus the closing stock. So can I conclude there are three types of inventory? Finished goods stock is valued at cost of the production. जो भी cost of the production होगा, produce करने का cost इतना है, so whatever is remaining, produced and remaining in stock, that will be same. Opening stock value they may give कि last year cost of production was different. If not, what is closing work in progress? That you can take opening work in progress, no problem. I want to repeat, finished goods is always valued at cost of production. Work in progress is always valued at factory cost, prime cost and factory cost. And raw material consumed is always valued, opening and closing stock is always valued as per the raw material cost, whatever you have got. Okay? And then these are our cost sheet problems. This is like so many times asked in the exam. This one is also very nice. In overheads, they have given GST paid on raw material. But if input tax credit is available, don't add it. On raw material purchases, if GST is paid and input tax credit, don't add it in the purchases cost sheet mein lo hi mat. You need to keep this GST separate. So these are the problems levels which we solve in routine. This is also a very popular problem with all the inventories and all the details. Sometimes inventory is missing. Now look at this problem. Ninth problem. Sales is also given, percentage of profit on sales. I hope you all remember cost plus profit is selling price. Some of you may be thinking, Dipti ma'am, kya padha rahe hain aap? Cost plus profit is selling price. Cost is 100 if profit is 10% of the cost. My selling price is 110. If profit is 10% of sales, let sales be 100, profit be 10, my cost is 90. So profit as a percentage, if it is on cost, take cost as 100. Profit as a percentage, if it is on sales, take sales as 100. Clear to all of you, right? This is very important. In accounts also we have branch and departmental accounts where we make equations, and here also we make equations. So it's very necessary to know this. See, now here they have given link. Labor would be 175% of the works overhead. Works overhead is what? Factory overhead. So if factory overhead is 100, direct labor is 175. And if direct labor is given, then factory overhead is. So like this, you can cross multiply and find the figures. There are also problems in the cost sheet related to equation, like this 14th one. Part of it is done and part of it is like changed. If the cost is changing and if profit you want to keep same, see, cost is increasing, profit you want to keep same, then selling price will increase. Cost is increased, and on increased cost you want same profit. Increase the selling price. But you're saying no ma'am, selling price to competition market now cost to बढ़ गया है और selling price same लगना है, the profit will come down. You understand this logic? With this they have given the equation x and y, and then you cancel and you can do. Behind your study material also very nice questions are given. Okay, whichever material, CMA material or CA material, behind your textbook. And after solving our material, solve institute's material. and at least give yourself 10 marks test. कोई भी एक पास पेपर उठा लो और 10 marks का टेस्ट दे दो खुद को कि आप कर पा रहे हैं या नहीं, right? Okay. Yeah. Next, now let me share the booster notes. These are the booster notes which I give in my regular class. Raw material stock is a part of the raw material consumed. Work in progress stock is a part of the works cost after factory order. You can't change the placement, ma'am. Ultimately, to sab add hi hona hai na? No. Finished goods is valued at cost of the production. Yes, 3 types. Raw material is shown in the raw material consumed. Work in progress is valued at works cost, and finished stock is valued at cost of the production, right? Administrative overhead related to the production, it is a part of the cost of production, then take it above the cost of production, administrative overhead. And if administrative overhead is sometimes given combined with sales, you know, they write like this in exam: administrative and selling expenses, then they charge it on the number of units sold. ठीक है? One second. Huh? Yeah. I also gave you some other formulas. Conversion cost, indirect material, if you add labor and overhead, you get conversion cost, then you get cost of production. Many times in the exam they are giving direct material to itna hai, conversion cost add karo, you will get direct labor and factory overhead, so you will get the cost of the production. If all the costs are given as a percentage on sales, take sales as 100. If not, take cost as 100. Cost of production, if you add opening stock, you get cost of the goods which are available for sale. Yes. Second. Then next is if cost is increasing. हाँ, ये logic मैंने आपको बताया ना, ये देखो. If cost is increasing and you want to keep selling price same, obviously your profit will come down. Costing में ना there is lot of interlinking in all the chapters. मैम जैसा cost sheet है वैसा ही operating costing, service costing, process costing, contract. It's like the logics are same only, provided you understand it. If cost is increasing because of inflation, selling price you want to keep same, then obviously profit will reduce. If cost is increasing, profit you want to keep same, तो फिर selling price को बढ़ा दो, revise the selling price. And when your customers say, "Arey, why did the prices increase?" You can say cost is also. This happens. See, when GST was introduced suddenly on few things and all, they said, "Nahi, earlier we were charging 50, now we will charge 58 because GST rates have increased." So simple, increase the selling price. Factory overhead is charged for number of units produced. Correct? We sometimes, you know, system has become slow. Yeah. 11th and 12th point is clear. These are all booster notes we have written over it chapter में कहाँ चलेगी? Over it exam को time. One second, dear students. Yeah. Conversion cost का हो गया ना? I'm not able to scroll just a bit, dear students. Screen थोड़ा परेशान कर रहा है. I want to share more booster notes. Like factory overhead, it is charged on number of units produced. Administrative overhead is charged. जितने units produced, if you are doing administrative overhead तो लग ही रहा है. See, factory overhead 13 point. Factory overhead is charged on number of units produced, whereas selling overhead is charged on number of units sold. Remaining are lying on cost of production basis in your godown when they are sold at selling expense. So factory overhead is charged on number of units produced. Selling and office expense, if they are along with the selling, admin and all, are charged for number of units sold. If office and admin expense are not related to production, then works cost and cost of production will be same. See, if admin expense are given with the selling expense, so what is your factory cost and what is your cost of production? बीच में तो administrative overhead है, वो तो नहीं है, so it will be same. Cost of production, number of units produced, and closing stock ka cost. This you can get, no? You have produced 10,000 units for rupees 1 lakh. So 100 units ka cost kitna? 1 lakh divided by 10,000 into 100. In 1 lakh rupees cost of production, you have produced 10,000 units. So 100 units ka kitna? 1,000. 10 per unit. This is how you get cost of production assuming FIFO. GST, if it is paid on raw material, should be added in cost sheet only if input tax credit is not taken on GST. So these are material related points. I'm doing the revision with all the concepts. I'm sharing my booster notes and I'm explaining. But if you feel, no ma'am, we want to see the regular notebook where we have solved all problems, but I don't know how that will be helpful because you all are not having the problem sheet also. So like X and Y related problem or some cost sheet where we have done thorough working. See the language of the cost sheet. Sometimes material is given, profit is given, sales is given, and balancing figure is in between. So without looking and sharing more screen, can we revise what is the format of the cost sheet? Direct material consumed, direct labor, direct expense, prime cost. Add factory overhead, factory cost. Add opening work in progress minus closing. Yes, you get the final factory cost. Add administrative cost only if it is given separately and related to production. You get cost of the production. This much units are produced. Add opening finished goods, you get number of units which are ready for sale, available for sale, minus closing stock of finished goods. You get cost of the goods sold. In cost of the goods, whatever goods are sold, add selling expense. If you work out number of units and amount, you will get the number of units produced are 10,000. But units sold are only 9,200 because 800 units are still lying in stock. So selling expense will be incurred only for 800 units. Is this clear to all of you? 800 units ka hi lagega selling expense. Incurred for number of units sold. Factory and admin related factory expense are incurred for number of units produced. Once you add selling expense, you get cost of the goods which are sold, cost of sales. Add profit, you get finally sales. Clear? So here we complete with the revision, but costing needs written practice. I know मैं बहुत बोल रही हूँ पर जरूरी है. Costing needs written practice. So just revise. Make sure you do thorough revision in writing. Practice the problem. Putting the stopwatch. You need speed, you need the presentation, and you need to understand the concept and complete the paper in a super correct way in time. ये होता है, बिल्कुल होता है, provided you practice now. Okay? Any doubts are there, you can stay connected. With this, we will be taking exam for chapter 1 also. Yes, chapter 1 now only I am saying most relevant question asked in the exam is these units ke liye, what is the type of the costing suitable? Is this a responsibility center or profit center? What is the difference between cost reduction and cost control? Okay, so these are the usual questions which are asked from chapter 1. What are the limitations of cost accounting? So I've already put up another 2 videos for that. You can check that, and if you have any doubt, you can ask me. This is the third video, and first, second, third video put together, you are going to write exam. See, it takes guts to prepare and write the class test. और बिना डरे रखो, मैम यहाँ 10 मिले out of 30 1 hour exam, तो final exam will lose the confidence. नहीं होगा. Face it here. ऐसा नहीं है कि if you fail here you will fail, or if you get 95 here you will get, ऐसे नहीं है. These are just practice tests. I have prepared the question papers to the best of the quality what institute is giving and what I can say with my 20 years of experience. So wish you very all the best. Accounts paper is there first, and already single entry video is uploaded. So check that, revise that, and start writing the exams 100% sincerity commitment के साथ. Don't just prepare past exam papers and come and write the exam. Don't do that. And you can fool anyone, you cannot fool yourself. So thoroughly prepare our material and institute's material for single entry, and then next exam is this first sheet and the first chapter. Okay? All right. See you in the next video, starting with the material chapter. I'll give you how all formulas are derived. Wish you very all the best, and at every step we are there together with you to support you. No spoon feeding concepts are given. You have to independently solve it with a stopwatch. Any doubt is there, ask me. All the best. Thank you so much. Signing off now. See you, Dipti Chheda here. Bye-bye.